All right. So, damn, already time for another Hellraiser review. What are we reviewing today? No! Oh God, no! No! No!
Welcome to hell. We have such sights to show you.
I know. I'm sorry. I only watched it one time. You're the good ones. You're the good ones. I'm so sorry they had to ruin you. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why. You are great movies. I just want to let you know that. You are fantastic movies. Oh. Sorry guys, I just had to comfort these movies real quick, man. I mean, I just feel so bad for them. Anyways, sorry guys. I know it's almost over. The torture is almost over for all of us. We're going to get through this together. Do you all hear me out there? We're going to get through this together. We are strong. We are one. We are one. All right, we are good. I'm going to set these down because that was just a reminder. It was just a reminder of where this series came from to get to this fucking point. All right. So literally tonight, I just got done watching Hellraiser Revelations. And that's tonight's review. Hellraiser Revelations. Came out in 2011, gets a 2.7 on IMDb. Written by Victor Garcia. Now, Victor Garcia had also made Return to House on Haunted Hill. He also made 30 Days of Night Blood Trails, I guess a TV show. He made some episodes of that. Frost Giant, Mirrors 2, The Damned. Hellraiser Revelations. This movie is so fucking terrible, man. I was sitting here watching it, and I was just noticing thing after thing. I can't speak. I can't even speak to you guys right now. People like, calm down, Nate, calm down. The series has gotten to this fucking point. This point. To where Doug Bradley isn't even playing Pinhead anymore. To where it's literally trying to rip off things the first movie did. It feels like it's trying to be just another version of the first movie. Instead of having a guy and a girl, it's two friends, and one of them is playing the Frank role from the. They're trying to do what the first two movies did, and it's not working. This movie was made for one reason. Well, two reasons. One, to get some money. Now, I doubt it made any money. I mean, obviously, it didn't cost that much money to make. It looked really cheap. So it was made to make some money, and it was also made. The big reason why it was made is to keep the rights to the Hellraiser series. Dimension, I don't know what in the hell the plan is with this series. This series has 10 goddamn movies. It does not need any more fucking movies, okay? I know I haven't seen Judgment, but the last really good Hellraiser movie was Part 5, in my opinion. But if you're asking me honestly, what I would prefer, Hellraiser 3. That's my personal favorite Hellraiser movie. That, to me, should have ended it. Everything afterwards was unnecessary. And we're at 10 movies, and they're talking about making a sequel, and they're talking about making a prequel, and they're talking about making a remake. Like, goddamn. How many more of these movies can you make? And this movie shows that you cannot do anything else with Hellraiser. Yeah, it wasn't originally a script laying around. But still, as a Hellraiser movie, we have made it to this fucking point. It gets a 2.7 on IMDb. Now, mind you, this is out of the Hellraiser series. This gets a 2.7. This is in the Hellraiser series. You know how many movies are in the series? And this gets a 2.7. That's lower than stuff like Deader and Hellworld and Hellseeker and Bloodline. That's how bad this movie is, man. The movie was made for one reason. Like I said, also to get some money, but to keep the rights to the Hellraiser series, because Dimension was going to lose the rights to the Hellraiser films. And people are like, calm down, Nate. After watching this movie, you'll feel the same way too. I was sitting there watching this movie, kind of dead on the inside, just laying there like lifeless. Like, when I was watching this movie, I was into it, and Look at the visuals. Look at the creepiness. Look at Clive Barker being a genius. Watching this fucking movie, being amazed at these special effects that they pulled off in the low budget. Being amazed at the script and the idea. To where I'm getting to this movie, I'm just sitting here, like, wondering, like, good God, this series has gotten to this point. It's so bad. I'm not a fan of this movie whatsoever. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. It is barely a feature-length movie. I think without credits, it's like probably, an hour and 10 minutes without credits? Hour and 12 minutes without credits? The story, literally there is, on IMDb, the story summary is a sentence. Look on IMDb, I'm not lying to you. Go to IMDb, look at the summary, it's a sentence. Two college kids, two college friends, unwittingly release Pinhead and his minions. That is the fucking summary for this movie. Need I say more about this plot? You got two kids, they're going to Mexico to party. That's basically the only reason why they're going to Mexico to party. They get there, one guy finds a chick, goes in the bathroom even though he has a girlfriend, and decides to have sex with this chick. His other friend passes out, wakes up, has a hangover, and the other friend, you find that he murdered this girl by accident, so that she fell over. Even though when they look into the stall, it looks like a bloody murder scene. Like, oh, she fell over and there's blood everywhere? Like, what? And then it cuts to the next scene, and they, I guess meanwhile it cuts back to the family of these kids, because these two kids went missing and they're watching these tapes. So it's trying to put the found footage stuff in there too. So it's trying to rip off the original Hellraiser, and they're all trying to put in this found footage stuff. And this review might be a long review, just letting you guys know, because these reviews usually are. But yeah, the family is watching these tapes from this camera. How in the hell did they get this camera? And how in the hell did they get the puzzle box? Why is that not in some police station somewhere in evidence? How in the hell did they get this stuff? That's my question. How did they get this evidence from, like, this crime scene and stuff like that? So they're going over these tapes, and they start noticing that, the two teens get the box. One of the teens is starting to act a little bit more evil out of nowhere, just how it is. He opens the box, the camera cuts out, and one of the missing kids ends up turning up and goes back to this house. And there's a big giant meetup at this house of the family of these kids. Why the family has a big meetup, I don't know. It doesn't really lead to anywhere. It's never really explained. One of the kids shows up. Spoiler, you find out that he is the more evil of the two friends, and they have a incest scene for some reason. A homeless man shows up, starts killing people, and I get it. It's because he's a link to the demon world. He's like a demon himself, because at the first Hellraiser movie's ending, you've seen that happen. He's like basically a demon or something like that. This movie's all over the place. It'll have flashbacks, and literally, I'm telling you this, most of this movie, I was just laying there. I didn't care. I was just like laying down, just, sitting there, just watching the screen, being like, I just do not give a fuck about anything that's going on. I just don't, because, like, in the back of your mind, this is made for money and to keep the rights to Hellraiser. And again, I don't know what the big plan is with this Hellraiser. They want to keep the rights to Hellraiser. These movies don't make a lot of money. There's a reason why they're all direct-to-video after Part 4. I like Part 5. I like aspects of Part 8, but there's a reason why they have been, because, like, Hellraiser 3 didn't even make that much money. I don't even think Hellraiser 2 was a giant hit. So they never really been, like, money movies to make giant amount of money off of. I think the first one was a pretty decent hit, though. But you see what I mean? Like, Hellraiser 4 flopped, so I don't know why there's this big plan to make a sequel, and there's rumors they're going to make a prequel, which I'm like, a prequel? Wasn't there already a prequel made? Like, several? I don't get it. There's already an origin to the box. What else are you going to do? And there's going to be a remake with a female Pinhead, which, that idea I don't mind. That'd be an interesting idea, and I wouldn't mind seeing a remake, honestly. Just seeing a readaptation, remake of that story. That is like the one thing that I'm actually interested in, seeing a readaptation, a redo of that story. Because I was not looking forward to Stephen King's It from 2017. I wasn't looking forward to that movie at all. I didn't even want to go see it. But I went and saw it, ended up really loving that movie. I have it on Blu-ray. And I don't buy many movies on Blu-ray. So there are movies that surprise me. And the remake, at this point, when the series is going down this route, yeah, like, a remake is kind of necessary at this point. But again, I don't know what the big plan is. Is the remake the big plan? That's been the big plan since the beginning. I'm not sure, man. All I know is this movie is so lazy. There's nothing to this plot. There's nothing to these characters. I don't care about a single person in this movie. Because they give these characters nothing to do. They are sitting on couches at a table, just sitting there and talking for most of the movie. Most of the movie is that. Them in this fake-looking set somewhere, the most obviously fake-looking, I don't know if it was on location or if it was on a set, it looks fake, like they're on a set somewhere, a cheap set somewhere. So they're hanging out on the set, and they're all just sitting there talking. That's all it is, and they're suspicious about this. It's their son, but they're suspicious about him, and you found that the other guy killed their son and took his skin, pretty much what Frank did in the first movie. It's just not, there's nothing to this movie. It's not scary, it's not funny, it's not interesting, it's not witty, it's not clever, it's not entertaining. It's dry, dull, boring. That's what it is. And if it seems like I'm a little upset in this, because I'm at fucking part 9. If you were 9 movies in this series, you probably have a little chip on your shoulder too. Because the last good movie was part 5 to me, and even part 4 I wasn't a big fan of, so it's definitely been a little bit of a chore to watch these movies. And I'm not done yet. I ain't done yet. I still gotta review Judgment. Fuck. God damn it. People are like, well then why did you do the franchise review? Because I wanted to, have some fun, watch some Hellraiser. Never reviewed the franchise before. Wanted to go on a journey through hell, and god damn it was. But I need to calm down. I need to get to this review. But like they put like random scenes in there of Pinhead. Just random scenes that don't mean anything. Just random shots of the Cenobite world. And the way that looks, it looks so cheap and awful. They have this bright blue lighting. Like, these two movies are how you do that blue tone lighting. Like, this is how you do it. Here, it's literally like Halloween 6, where it is a blue filter. And it just doesn't look good to me. And the whole way the world looks, the Cenobites, the way they look. You have a mini Pinhead Jr., which looked awful. You had Doug Bradley didn't come back to play Pinhead. Stephen Smith Collins played Pinhead. And my thing is, Doug Bradley put so much into that role. I thought Stephen Smith Collins did the best he could, but there's just no replacing what Doug Bradley did for me. It just doesn't work for me in this movie. And plus, the way Pinhead's makeup looks in this movie, it looks awful. It looks awful. It looks like they took maybe 2 minutes to make the makeup in this movie. The makeup looks awful. His dialogue, every time he speaks, it's just the dialogue they give him seems anything but Pinhead. What else? Is there any good things? Some decent gore sometimes. The movie is only an hour and 15 minutes, but it's still boring. It is still boring. I was 30 minutes into this movie just checking the runtime. It is boring as shit. It's an hour and 15 minutes. It is a movie that literally, this is the most pointless Hellraiser movie of the bunch. Deader, I don't have Deader by me right now, but yeah, Deader is on that level of pointlessness. This is literally, you could delete this movie from the series and it would change 0. There is no need for this movie. It was made for money. It was made out of laziness, and it was made to get another Hellraiser movie because they didn't want to lose the right to Hellraiser. And they made Judgment, and I'm not sure if that was the same reason or not. I'm not sure. But they made Judgment as well. And I gotta watch that one. Never seen Judgment before. I will say that I have never seen Judgment, so that'll be a brand new experience watching Judgment. And I will be honest, the trailers don't look bad. They don't look terrible. But I still gotta watch that movie. But they put Pinhead in here, like Pinhead is in the movie, but they just literally, this is one of those movies where he is randomly in this movie. He will pop up mid-scene and just kind of be there, just out of nowhere. I don't know why. When they open the puzzle box, there's this blue CGI light. I don't know what's up with that. This homeless man just appears into the movie's plot out of nowhere just to kill somebody. Just to mess with their face and I guess kill them. Pinhead in this movie doesn't act like Pinhead because the dad character shoots the villain of the movie, and I guess Pinhead gets pissed off at him and goes, "We could have made him have more endless hours of suffering, and you took him from us, and now you owe debt to us," and then just kills the man's wife. And then there's a girl over here who's like, "Hey, that guy opened the box," just murders her. They make Pinhead in this movie unlikable. And I get it's like he's the villain, but Pinhead in the other movies, he was the kind of villain that had that much power over you. He would play games with his victims. He's like Freddy Krueger. He could kill you anytime he wants. Pinhead could just shoot some chains down and you're done. But he plays with his prey. He plays with his victims. You know, in Hellraiser 2, when Kirsty's in the puzzle box, she's in the labyrinth. He's like, you know, feel free to explore. And taking his time with his victims. You know, and he doesn't just swoop down and just swoop down and just kill some people. Like, it just didn't feel right in this movie. And the dialogue there, it sounded like it was dubbed over for Pinhead. The dialogue, it just sounded awful. The way Pinhead looks, just the makeup looked terrible. I know there's some other problems. Like, they try to do that whole Frank storyline where Frank comes back to life, and you know, you remember that in the first movie, he comes back and forms the blood. Remember how awesome it was in the first movie? The blood forming, the bones coming up, everything practical, forming in just a thing of flesh, like barely human looking thing of flesh. In this movie, the friend is like having sex with this girl, hears a voice in his head telling him to kill this girl. He does it, and then the guy just appears out of nowhere skinless, the dead friend. Like, doesn't reform out of flesh and bone and stuff, just kind of appears. And then, like, in a very lazy way, they do the whole, you know, you kill for me and bring me the victims and so I can regenerate myself. They try to do that whole thing, it doesn't work. This is a 17-minute video already, or at least this part of it is. I don't know what else I can say, man. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10 being generous. Not a fan of this movie, and I still gotta get to the fucking rest of the series, and I don't know how much more I can fucking take. I don't know how much more I can take. This movie pushed me to my fucking limits, and it fucking sucks. The movie fucking sucks. But anyways, guys, if you've seen this awful piece of crap, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on it. If you've seen the movie, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it in the film below. Comments below. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this pretty heated review. Hope you enjoyed. Explorer 4 is out, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, God. Pray for me, guys. Oh, God.